Thought we'd just have a quick look at the accessories I've put on this 2020 Honda CT125 Hunter Cub Trail, whatever one you'd like to call it, and a couple of them I would say you'd have to think twice about buying or use another alternative, but the majority of what I put on the bike I've been pretty happy with. I just thought I'd just show you what's going on. So first off, the headlight protector. It came in at around about $230 Australian, roughly 160 US. Now one thing about these things, or any of these accessories, when you purchase it from Thailand, and I bought most of them off eBay from Thailand, you might see a difference in variation in price from $20 to $40, and the variation in price is not a fact that you'll be buying them cheaper, but it'll be a fact that how long it's going to take for the delivery. So the ones that are charging you a little bit more for delivery, you'll get the item usually in a little bit over a week, and the ones that are a little bit cheaper, you know, you may be looking at a month or 6 weeks to get the item, could even be longer. So that's the way to look at it. So you're not really going to save any, except if you've got time on your hands and you're prepared to wait. Now the front headlight cover, it can be purchased as a two-piece item. One has an outright headlight cover, and then the other section is with the rack on front or on top. So my recommended would be to go for the rack because it looks more sportier with the rack on top, gives you a better feel of the bike when you're sitting there behind the seat, and gives it gets away from that small toy effect of the bike and makes it more like an adventure bike. So at this stage, when you look from rider's point, looking over, just that cage area over the headlight strengthens it up a bit, and then when I put the cover on it, or the rack up above that, it improves it even more. Very easy to fit. You just pull out the original bolts in the headlight carrier there and just place it in position there. 2 bolts there, one into the headlight housing, and it's a nice solid construction, nice and solid. So when you see the additional rack on top, sort of makes it nice and chunky looking, gives it a lot more purpose. So you've got the more protection at the sides, you've got storage area there to toss some goodies on. Then when you come to the riding position, you've got a lot more adventure style riding up there now. Sort of makes it look like you're riding something more adventurous rather than a really small 125cc bike. So I think it's a good outlay for the money. $230 landed here in Australia, about 170 US, and I highly recommend this product because that one there from Motor Skills, and if you look back down here at the central rack, matching set, perfect items. Nothing wrong with them at all. Good stuff, really solid built. On the accessories, we'll have a look at the front mudguard extenders. Well, I bought those once again from Thailand. They cost me roughly $150, and you can pick them up at a varied price, you know, $20, $30 cheaper than that, depends where you get them from. They were a little bit fiddly to fit because they arrived with no instructions, and at first I had a few complaints about them, mainly because of the no instructions. They never mentioned at all that the horn would have to be relocated into a higher position, and in doing so I ended up getting a dent in my front mudguard on the first trip out, being unaware that the suspension would come down and belt it there. So that was a little bit of a mistake. It was learnt from that one. Actually I had no idea, but after I've tested this now into some pretty rough terrain, and these have been on now for probably pushing 800 kilometres, I'm really happy with the purchase of these, even though I thought they were highly overpriced at the time. So no complaints of those whatsoever. And if you ask would I buy those again, yes I would, because I'm planning on putting off-road tyres on it, and I'll definitely need the clearance So I'd class these things, even though they're a little bit on the expensive side, I'd still class them as a good buy. So if you're thinking about those, or you're on the fence, and they look nice on the bike too, so it raises that front mudguard, gives it that bit of an aggressive look, and I think overall, you know, well worth, you know, the few dollars just to have that front mudguard raised, and saves you, once you get into wet and muddy conditions, getting the front one clogged up. Okay guys, I wouldn't rush out and buy this small pillion seat for this bike, which costs roughly $170 AU. Since then they've released a more square base version, so I think that'd be the way I'd go, because this one here may be alright for a passenger around that 50 kilo mark, but if you're carrying anyone a little bit heavier than that one, I'd recommend go for the big one, because the bigger one only costs, like I said, about $20 more than this, and I think it looks a more comfortable one. Looks like it's about maybe a quarter again a big in area, and I think that'd be the best way to go. So this is the one I think is a very tight fit, though the wife said she can fit on there just, so my advice would be go for the bigger seat, give this one a miss, and I think that'd be the best way to go. And naturally, if I was buying on today's market, I would have bought the bigger seat, but when I purchased this one, it was the only one available. We'll have a look at this engine temperature gauge, and it cost me roughly 80 Australian dollars, which I find pretty good value. There are cheaper ones on eBay, but the ones on eBay at a cheaper price I think are nowhere near as good as quality as this supposedly German made one, which actually come from Germany. So it's a nice clear dial. When I've been run the bike so far, the best temperature I've seen it register would probably be around about 85C. Something to that effect, but later on when I get out and take it on a further run, that may go higher than that, but at this stage 85C is the maximum I've seen it rise to. So once again, it's a good quality unit, and I think whoever buys that would be pretty happy with it. Have a look at this central storage rack. Once again, this is a really good quality item, equal to the headlight protector and front rack, and I'm pretty happy I bought this one. Cost me up around that $200 Australian, or $230 Australian with postage, about 170 US. It's a really nice looking unit, well made, got no regrets, nice sturdy construction, and I think if you're going to buy a rack, this is the one to buy, because some of the others look a bit on the flimsy side, and I think later on I'll be able to put some goodies on this one and carry a fair bit of weight on it, and it sits there nice and solid, so once again it's a plus for me. It works really well with the rare earth magnets on the base of the plug, but not on this one. So what I have done in the meantime, I found another eBay seller who sells postie bikes, and he's got these magnetic sump plugs, so I ordered one of those, and I'm going to try one of those in the, into this bike, and I'm going to try the system on that one. So if I put the rare earth magnets on the base for that one and they hold better, well, I'm going to get rid of this one and just use that one. We take a look at this 5 litre fuel container which I purchased too, another one of the Thailand ones. That came in at around about $300. Pretty expensive, that included postage to Australia. I would say this one's a little bit on the overpriced side, so on these reviews of accessories I'm giving you good and bad, so if I think they're overpriced, after getting them and review them or checking them out myself over a period of time, I'll just get here and tell you the truth about the items. So I think really you could just make yourself a plate and put it there, pick up one of the fuel containers on the internet for probably about $50 with that twist plug. I've seen them there. AliExpress sell them, so if you go to AliExpress and look under 5 litre fuel containers. I'm sure you'll see a heap of them there, and if you'll get them with the container there where you it'll come with this twist on mount. All you'd have to do then is cut out a flat steel base plate, add a couple of screw holes to it, add 5 central holes to it, and do your mounting across it, and I think you'd save yourself a bit of money that way. So I think that'd be the way you should go in that way, unless you want to fork out $300 AU or pushing a bit over 200 US or roughly 200 US this way. Next mod here was a real cheapie. It was a 14 tooth sprocket removed and a 13 tooth put in its place. I won't pull the cover off just to show you that, because after all we've all seen a sprocket. It's a bit of trouble just to pull it off, just to show you what one looks like when we've all got a good idea what they look like. It worked out particularly well, and I think for the $20 outlay to buy the sprocket, I got really good hill climber performance and a little bit better pickup. And I found that my opinion now is I probably will never go back to the factory 14 tooth, because where I live it's a little bit on the hilly side, and I think this 13 tooth is going to be a lot more beneficial to me. Now a lot of people have said to me, oh, they would have went to a larger rear sprocket. Yeah, well, that's all right to say that, you can go to a large rear, but if you can find me one, well, contact me in the comment section and tell me where I can get one, because so far I've tried 5 different dealers so far and not one can supply me with a bigger rear sprocket for this bike, and if it was available I would have had it on the bike by now. At this stage, no luck getting the sprocket, but if you can find one where I can get one and you know it's guaranteed to fit, throw it in the comment. I'll buy it and I'll test it, tell you what I think of it. Don't care what it costs, just tell me where it is, and we'll go from there. Got this cell phone mount roughly a year ago when I had the Himalayan, and never got around to using it. But what I like about it is fully adjustable. As you can see there, you can put it in any direction you want. Bought it off eBay around about $40. I've used it a couple of times now. It's good for holding the phone on, and I'll be running it shortly on the GPS run. So apart from that, sitting back in the seat, nice clear view there, and like I said, you can swing it vertical, horizontal, any way you want. And the best thing about it with this mounting system I bought from Thailand, I can just mount it straight to the top bar, or I can just undo it, turn it to the left, right, whatever way I want, up, down, sideways, whatever way you want to go. So once again, if you look at the adjustment system, you've got plenty of there to go for, anything you want. So guys, there's the 10 upgrades, so that'll be end of part 1. So in part 2 there'll be another run on this one, and the next lot of upgrades are going to be one, I'm going to put a bar stabiliser in this section here. I'm going to put YSSS suspension inserts in the front forks. Over here in the back shocks, I'm going to put YSS Black Edition rear shocks. So I think they're 3-way adjustable, so they're a really good set of shocks that go into the back of this bike, because I really want good suspension when I'm out there travelling along the road. That seat's going to be removed, and it's going to be an upgrade to the seat, so that'll be another one that's going. All this stuff's on order, so I'm just waiting for it to arrive. Swing over to this side of the bike. We will be working on, I'm going to upgrade tyres front and rear to a better tyre, so I think that'll come in handy when I get out there on the trail, so it'll climb a little bit better in that one. If possible and something comes up, I will improve on the back rear sprocket too, so that I've got a then I may go back to the 14 front and go to a 41 rear, something like that. That's just something that's on the cards at the moment. While we're on the subject there, the sprocket, I'm also upgrading the chain, so there'll be a new chain arriving here shortly. It'll be on a trial run, just a cheaper one first. If that doesn't produce the goods, then I'll go outright and just buy one really good chain for it. But at this stage I'm just curious to try this chain to see how it performs, so that'll be something else we'll be trying. I've ordered brackets here and spotlights to run up here, so it'll have twin spotlights at the front of it. So they'll be coming too. USB port here, so I can run the phone and that on the thing, so that'll be wired in too. Plus I almost forgot, there'll be Barkbuster handguards. They're on order, they should arrive here shortly. And the sump plug, will, like I said, I've ordered a one here, an Aussie one, a magnet style one, and I'm going to compare that to the one I've already got in it and see if you can run the earth magnet style underneath a bit better than the one I've got. So that'll be an experiment on that one there. So overall, between all those mods, I think another 8 mods will go onto the bike in total. Maybe worth your trouble to come back and see what happens. It'll be very interesting to see how the YSS suspension performs on this bike, because I found the suspension a little bit of a letdown after I went to a 13.2 sprocket and got out into the paddock and give this bike a bit of a harder workout than normal. And prior to that it was okay, but I found that for once I could possibly ride faster than what the bike can handle it. Where up until then it was quicker than me, so that was the idea for the suspension upgrade. Wasn't a cheap upgrade, but then again, I need something a little bit better. I'm going to go out there or I'm not going to be happy with the ride anyway, so I thought, why not upgrade, try it out, see how it goes. May work, may not, we'll all find out. So the main thing is, hope you enjoyed the bit of a look around the bike with the mods on it, and hope to see you back again, so catch you later.